All right, after organizing temple service, David sets up the structure of his kingdom's administration, a well ordered system of military divisions, tribal leaders, and stewards who manage the king's wealth and lands. Okay, this chapter shows David's wisdom as both a spiritual and political leader. Okay, it's recording it is. Okay, the first part of this chapter covers the 12 military divisions. David's army was divided into 12 divisions of 24,000 men each, with each group serving 1 month per year. Each division had a commander, okay? So instead of me reading them, let's put their names in the translator because then we'll see the correct pronunciation, right? So stick with me, stick with me. Here we go, the 12.
Jeshobim Dodai of Ahoah, Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, of David's mighty men. Asahel, and later his son Zebediah, Shamhathira, son of Akesh, Helas Sibbecai Abiezer Maharai Benaiah, of Pirathon, Heldai, of Othniel's family.
There we go. These are the 12, okay? Israel's army was organized, disciplined, and fear. No one bore the full burden alone. Service was rotational, ensuring constant readiness. The second part of the chapter covers the tribal leaders. Each of Israel's 12 tribes had an appointed leader overseeing civil and military affairs. For example, Elihu, David's brother, led Judah. Omri led Issachar. Ashabiah led Levi, and Azarel led Gad, and so on. The record notes that David began as a census. The record notes that David began a census, but did not finish it because God's wrath fell upon Israel, okay? Referring to the sin of numbering the people without divine approval, okay? So you can check that one out in 2 Samuel chapter 24. Human systems are valuable, but God alone establishes true strength. Counting without faith leads to pride, right? So the third part of the chapter covers the stewards of king's wealth. David also appointed officials over royal property. Asmaveth over the royal treasuries. Jonathan, David's uncle, counselor and scribe. Erzi over farm workers, okay? Shimei over vineyards. Zabdi over wine cellars. Baal Hanan over olive trees and oil stores. Joash over herds. Jaziz the Hagrite over flocks. Every asset of the kingdom, from goat to grapes, was managed with care. David's reign thrived because everything had a steward. The fourth part of the chapter covers the king's advisors and companions. The chapter closes with David's inner circle, okay? Jonathan, his uncle, counselor, and wise man. Jehiel, tutor to the king's sons. Ahithophel, the famous counselor, later betrayer in 2 Samuel chapter 15. Yeah. And Jehoiada, son of Benaniah, and Abiathar, priests. Joab, commander of the army. David balanced spiritual advisors, political officers, and military leaders, uniting faith and governance on God's direction. What are the key lessons from the first Chronicles chapter 27? The first one is leadership requires a structure. David's divisions and officers show that good governance is organized, delegated, and accountable. Second lesson, never replace faith with numbers. The unfinished census is a warning. Human planning must stay under divine guidance. Third lesson, stewardship is worship. Managing resources wisely is as sacred as a signing of sacrifice. Sorry. Let me say this again. Managing resources wisely is a sacred as signing or sacrifice. Fourth lesson, God values wisdom and counsel. David surrounded himself with men of insight. Leadership is never meant to be solitary. So in summary, the first Chronicles chapter 27, David established a full national structure, 12 monthly army divisions, leaders for each tribe, stewards for royal properties, and trusted advisors. The kingdom of Israel ran with precision and divine order, blending faith, discipline, and administration under God's blessing, okay?